This case is a roller coaster of lies, consequences, and a judge who isn't buying any excuses. Martin Washington stands before the court after a series of reckless choices that put lives at risk, and his family in chaos, from false stories about being in Florida to excuses about work and family struggles. This courtroom drama has everything: deceit, accountability, and a harsh reality check. Stick around, because the judge's reaction is nothing short of explosive, and trust me, you won't want to miss the final sentencing twist.
On the record is a matter of the state of Michigan versus Marquise Washington, 24-3116.
Haley Fortuna Gill on behalf of the people. Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Public Defender Lauren Sutter on behalf of Mr. Washington, who's joining us via Zoom.
Okay, today was the date that was scheduled for sentencing. I have to refresh my recollection, and now it all comes back. Got it.
Obviously, there's been some unfortunate decisions made leading up to today's hearing. Mr. Washington is fully acknowledging of that, and he would like to make a statement or apology to the court in a moment. In regards to the sentencing here, understanding the recommendation has changed. When looking at the first recommendation here, they did note during his conversation that Mr. Washington does take accountability for the poor decisions that led to these charges being issued. He admits that he was drinking that night. He was in possession of a phone while driving. He was making some very foolish, quite dangerous decisions, and those have had some very serious ramifications for him, as well as the other people involved in this.
Here's what's happening. Washington's defense is trying to humanize him. They're pointing to stress at home, his child's illness, and family responsibilities. This is a common legal strategy, asking the court for leniency by painting the defendant as more than just his mistakes. But let's be real, stress doesn't excuse drunk driving while using a phone. That's dangerous. Period. Question for you all: should personal struggles ever reduce someone's sentence, or does accountability come first? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Case. He admits it was stupid. He has continued to make decisions since then. He advises me, and I believe he advises officer as well, that he's not an individual who drinks often, but clearly when he does choose to drink, he's not prepared to make the best decisions. He knows that. He's learned that in any way a person possibly can learn that. To give some background on him, what was going on around the time of this original incident, he was dealing with a lot of stress at home. Very, very sick. They've been in and out of care at the Grand Rapids Children's Hospital. That's something he's been consistently dealing with, traveling when he was in Florida, back up to Michigan twice a month for that. Child is improving now, which is good news, but it's still something he's dealing with. But the worst of that illness was in the fall of last year, and in October in particular, dealing with gastroenterologists, endocrinologists, anything he can to make his 3-year-old son well again. And he wasn't handling that stress well last October, which led to the incidents here. I understand and fully acknowledge that the court nor probation is probably deeming him to be a good candidate for probation at this time, given what happened in March. And I think he knows that as well. Given that, Your Honor, we are accepting that the court is going to issue a jail sentence here. I would ask the court to consider limiting the jail sentence to something like 93 days or 90 to 100 days, something short of the 365. He has already served 33 days jail at the minimum, as far as I've been able to calculate from numbers given to me by the Ingham County Jail. He also does still have 2 young children who entirely rely upon him for both financial and medical care. As I said, he is still dealing with his child being in and out of care at the Grand Rapids Children's Hospital. He does have employment waiting for him once he has completed his sentence here. He does know he has an ongoing misdemeanor case here that he's fully prepared to stay in Michigan until the end of that case, through whatever resolution results there, and has work waiting for him once he's wrapped everything up. Once he does that, he is planning on moving his family full-time to Florida, but he knows until he's done here with this court, he's staying in Michigan absolutely to take accountability for anything that's previously happened. So my request, to summarize, Your Honor, is to ask the court to limit any kind of jail sentence between 90 and 100. He did last night, Mr. Washington. This is the time for you to make any kind of statement to the court you'd like to.
This is a huge moment. Washington openly admits to lying directly to the judge in the past, something that almost always destroys credibility. Judges want honesty, not excuses. Notice how he shifts into personal hardships, losing his car, his family, living in hotels, but here's the kicker: all of those consequences stem from his own actions. This apology feels more like damage control than genuine accountability. What do you think? Does this sound sincere or just another attempt to soften the blow before sentencing?
I just want to apologize to Judge Simmons for lying to your face. I was 100% wrong. That was probably the dumbest decision I ever made. Sitting here trying to play in your face in court. Um, I'm taking full accountability. I, and yeah, I promise from here on out to be truthful and 100% honest. Since I've been incarcerated though, I just want to state it probably doesn't matter to you, but I have lost my car with all of our belongings in it, so we have no way to get back to Florida. Even my son has no way to get to the medical appointments in Grand Rapids because they rely on me to do it. My girl and the kids been living in the hotel. We've been running low on money, so I don't know how much longer that's gonna even last. But I'm definitely taking full accountability for lying to you, lying to my lawyer, the probation officer. That was wrong. I don't even know why I even did that.
Thank you, and thank you for taking the opportunity to address the court. Uh, the things that you're undergoing or experiencing now, which include the loss of your vehicle, the mounting bills.
And there it is, the judge delivers a brutal reality check. Every hardship Washington listed, the judge flips it right back on him. Your choices created this mess. Notice how she emphasizes that lying to the court wasn't just a mistake, it was a deliberate attempt to game the system. In legal terms, this destroys any chance of leniency. Judges take lying personally because it undermines the integrity of the courtroom. Washington isn't just facing a sentence, he's facing a credibility crisis.
The inability to provide transportation and support for your child who's facing some medical issues, that is completely attributed to your own actions. You did that to yourself. You put your family in a precarious situation. You sacrificed your freedom. You sacrificed your ability to be there with your family, your ability to work, and your ability to maintain your possessions when you first committed the actions that brought you before the court, and then after coming before the court on that, for whatever reason, thought it would be in your benefit to just lie as if the court was supposed to follow along with the stupidity that and the game that you thought you were running around in my courtroom. And that was back in March. I issued a bench warrant in April when you failed to appear. Because when you appeared before me in March and you gave me the story that you were in Florida, and I questioned that you were in Florida, and I told you to step outside so that I could see the address on the home. And you gave me a story about the address not going to be there. And then you stepped outside only for me to see in March bare trees and no palm trees and no sun. And even then, you didn't believe it was time to face the truth, but you doubled down and became belligerent. That to me is a deep core issue. And I am happy to hear that you are ready to tell the truth and to move forward in a different light. But I hope.
And there it is, the judge delivers a brutal reality check. Every hardship Washington listed, the judge flips it right back on him. Your choices created this mess. Notice how she emphasizes that lying to the court wasn't just a mistake, it was a deliberate attempt to game the system. In legal terms, this destroys any chance of leniency. Judges take lying personally because it undermines the integrity of the courtroom. Washington isn't just facing a sentence, he's facing a credibility crisis.
It's because deep down you know that you need to make a serious change in your life because you are on a dangerous path. I've also learned some other information in dealing with this about you, and that you have a history, sir, from what I hear, of using your other family members' names who has the same name as yours. That's what I was advised, and including your dad and your brother, who's a police officer here at the Lansing Police Department. So if the history that you have is lying after you commit actions, you're in trouble, and you're going to find yourself behind bars for much longer than 365, or even worse. The actions that you committed to get you before the court, you should be lucky and blessed and thankful to the heavens that you are still alive. You could have taken your own life. You could have taken the life of someone else. And then to come before the court several months later, you never even turned yourself in. So everybody's sorry, and everybody's remorseful, and everybody feels a certain way after they're caught. You didn't have a life-changing moment after our interaction in March and then say, let me come to court in April like she ordered me to do in person. Not only did you not come to court in April, you didn't come in May, you didn't come in June, and you didn't come until you had another case and you were picked up in custody. You had to be remanded. We had to hold you in the jail just so I can get you here today. And so to tell me about all these responsibilities that you have, and that you now conveniently will have a job waiting for you when you get out. Where were you working before you got arrested?
Well, I was working in Florida with my dad. He owns a business. He owns a painting company. When I was here, I wasn't working. My girl was working at McDonald's on Jolly and Dunkel.
I didn't ask you where your girl worked. Your girl's not before
And
court.
there it is, the judge delivers a brutal reality check.
You're a man.
Every hardship Washington listed, the judge flips it right back on him. Your choices created this mess. Notice how she emphasizes that lying to the court wasn't just a mistake, it was a deliberate attempt to game the system. In legal terms, this destroys any chance of leniency. Judges take lying personally because it undermines the integrity of the courtroom. Washington isn't just facing a sentence, he's facing a credibility crisis.
Yes, ma'am.
If a man don't work, he shouldn't eat. You ain't got no business relying on some woman's job. Where were you working before you got picked up and brought into custody?
I wasn't working.
And now conveniently you have a job waiting for you. A job where?
I have a job waiting for me in Florida. Like the same job that I've been working. But I can't even go back there. There's no way to go back.
So you don't, it sounds like you don't have a job waiting for you.
The job was M&W painting and near Clearwater, I believe specifically. He was going to have to be seeking different employment up here while his other case is still waiting to be resolved.
Yes, I was going to just stay here and find work here while we get to the October case. That's what I was telling her. But I for sure have a real job when I go back down there. But I told her when I get out, I'm gonna just stay in Michigan and find work here until the other case gets over with. Because I never had plans on staying.
You mean you're just gonna stay in Michigan?
This exchange gets personal. The judge isn't just questioning his work history. She's calling out his entire sense of responsibility as a man. Harsh, absolutely. But her point is clear. Washington wasn't working before his arrest, so his sudden claim of having a job waiting in Florida doesn't hold weight. Judges often cut through excuses like this because if someone's pattern shows laziness or dishonesty, promises of future employment sound hollow. Do you think the judge was the tough here or just holding him accountable to reality?
That's an order, isn't it? You have an order to stay in Michigan. It's not an option for you to go to Florida. What are you talking about? You're very delusional. The sentence of the court is 180 days. I'll give you credit for the time served. You're not getting any additional earned early release or GPS tether release. There's also a whopping amount of OWI cost recovery that you're going to need to pay when you get out. You owe the Lansing Police Department $1,646.61 for responding to this. It's a $75 crime victim rights fee that will be assessed plus a $50 state minimum cost. Do you have any questions for the court at this time?
So I have to do 5 months with no EER or nothing?
That's correct.
That was exactly what I said. Any other questions?
No, ma'am.